Hi, my name is Veronica Akels, and the title of my report is Aging. This is my GRO 497 class, Professor Cherry Truler, and my report is due July the 5th, 2021. I am going to talk about the impact of ageism on culture and society. People tend, people are referred to as old school, over the hill senior citizens, and that is really a stereotype, and there have been discrimination because of their appearance, age, and things of that nature. And people can't find decent jobs because of age and things like that. Views of on on your generation. The generation nowadays does not have respect for the elderly, and it causes problems and even on jobs, and those type of people do not want to hire old elderly people for jobs because they want new faces, and they try to make the elderly retire, and they feel like the elderly have a lack of understanding. So technology has been created to make things harder for the elderly to understand. And jobs and things want people to maintain the physical and cognitive and social appearance. The social to aging. Nowadays, people want new ideas for the younger generation, health, people that are in better health than the elderly, which they want people that are more physical, do heavy lifting, and the cost of retaining elder workers is more expensive. And there's a lot of health in the elderly for people not to want to keep them on the jobs and things like that. That gives them a reason to make them retire and leave their jobs. And they say they want friendlier workplaces and less stressful, but that's not always the case. And they feel like hiring younger people will make it a work friendly environment and make it less stressful because it doesn't cost a lot to train them. The new practices at work, they want new ideas from younger people, and they feel like they feel like elderly people bring on a negative environment when they work with them, so they want to get them out the way and have a younger group. Polypharmacy. Polypharmacy is about really the elderly or anybody that's being over medicated, unplanned hospitalizations, which contribute to falls because of the number of medications or hospital medications that's not being monitored. And those include opiates and anxiety and medicines and depressions, which, taking a lot of medications can contribute to a higher fall risk of the elderly people, and fractures, and increase the number of hospital visits for them. The medications that are associated with heart and renal failure is another method, is another medication that should be monitored at all times on a regular basis. Disease prevention in aging. Depression leads to suicide when the elderly feel like they want to die in their own way or die in their own home. Diabetes makes people lose limbs, and lack of oxygen can lead to a lack of oxygen to the heart and the lungs. Making sure that the elderly people get regular checkups, and they have to treat any symptoms that the person may have, and they expect the elderly to exercise regularly, which that's with any person that's on any medication such as diabetes and other types of blood pressure medicines and things of that nature. The impact of elderly as a community and social contributors, which is the elderly don't want to retire because of the finances and they're used to making a certain amount of money, and that contributes to their way of living. And the elderly have words of wisdom which we people in their 40s to 50 may listen to, but the younger people don't always listen, but they do remember when they get older what someone once told them. And the elderly lose a lot of friends and acquaintances, which can cause depression, and they feel like they have nothing to live for because the family leave town and they in fear of losing the ones that they love, which is their spouses or their children, which causes them to have to downsize and either move in a nursing home or depend on others as far as the state or friends that they, don't want to be a burden to their own family. So they'll choose to go and live in nursing facilities. Having time, concerns with home care for the elderly, which is having them live at home, whereas they can be in their own comfort and die in their own comfort. And it's things that they know that's why they would rather stay at home. Having the equipment that they need, provide meals being provided for them if there's no one to cook for them, or falling with no one being there, which they do have, like the monitors and things of that nature. They can wear necklaces to ensure that if anything should happen, they can get help as soon as possible. But then another thing is making sure that their hygiene is up to par, and people would rather die at home than having to go anywhere else. And about decision making, which as far as are they able to take care of themselves, can they make those type of decisions whether they want to live or die, or can they pay their bills and things of that nature. Evaluating the end of life care. Some situations do have to be evaluated if the person has the means or the family that's able to stay with them in the care that is needed for them, and what is best for the person, whether it's staying at home or being at a nursing home. And they have to have the round the clock care. And if it's a life threatening illness where there is no more suffering, and for some people it's overwhelming as far as families, because they may not understand what is going on, but then working with palliative care and hospice of those natures requires a lot of family involvement, and they have to take into account for the patient values as far as what wishes they would like to have and how they are, whether they were Catholic or things of that nature. Assesses ethical and legal issues in aging, which is appointing a person to make the decisions for them, respecting the person's wishes legally, any conflicts with the family or the patient, or the best interests of the patients, whether they are competent enough to understand what is going on or what is happening, and talking to the patient to understand what is really happening to them, and taking into account for the patient with the family support. Cognitive behavior, whether the medication that they're on for dementia can cause behaviors. Patients with UTIs, it causes them to act out. Talking to them about work and family, maybe that can help calm down whatever behaviors they have going on. or depression will cause patients to act out if they don't have the thing that they want, and trying to read, getting them to read and do puzzles to keep their mind sharp. Summary: understanding ageism, preparations for role of culture in society, attitudes about aging, the effects of medication, home care for the elderly, care for dying patients, and justice for the elderly. Making sure that they don't fall in any type of abuse, mentally, physically, or misappropriation of funds and things. These are my references. Good luck to everyone. Thank you.